So I'm glad with this chapter we actually got a nice variety of things going on. We didn't really get back to the Doflamingo and Law and Fujitora fight, so I was a little bit bummed about that, but the overall chapter definitely had different things ranging from the stuff with the woman turning them into toys to Luffy in the tournament, so it did provide a nice variety of content moving things along. So let's start off with the whole thing with Jola, this big woman that was turning everyone into toys. It's safe to assume that the toy we've seen that's with Frankie and that had the connection with Rebecca was probably turned into a toy by this woman right here from the Don Quixote family, Jola. It was pretty interesting to see, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of laughing, because it's always like the Straw Hats kind of get themselves into a pickle, ever since especially we've been in New World, like we've seen them get turned into like switching bodies, now they get turned into toys, and it's just pretty interesting to see. I wonder if there's some sort of reverse effect, or they gotta knock out Jola in order to reverse it or whatnot, but it was just interesting nonetheless to see them again in a new bind, and looking at Nami using, I believe that was the same scooter that she used when she was on Skypiea. So once again, Oda throwing in just random little things, connecting the dots back to Skypiea, which he probably has a lot of importance within that arc, and he wants to make sure that people that say, oh, Skypiea is irrelevant, can really go back and say, yo, I needed to check out Skypiea, I missed this, I missed that. And nonetheless, just a little subtle thing like that, like the bike that Nami was using, I believe was the one from Skypiea. Overall, the connection with Jola to, you know, turning other people into toys definitely is gonna, you know, because Nami's not gonna stay a toy forever. Same thing with Brooke and Chopper and the rest of the people that were turned into toys. They're not gonna stay like that. So we're gonna find the reverse effect, and hopefully that'll reverse the guy that was turned into a toy that, you know, has a connection with Rebecca. Now, as far as the whole thing with Bellamy pretty much getting the orders that Doflamingo's like, yo, you will become a family leader, you just gotta kill Straw Hat for me. And the thing is, now we've seen that Bellamy has kind of changed. Since the last time we've seen him, he's actually not that bad of a guy. He's not a scumbag like the Bellamy we knew once before. Will he go through with trying to do this? It's a toss-up, because on one hand, he has this like real big devotion to Doflamingo and the Don Quixote family, but on the other hand, he's a changed person, and he's seen that, yo, this Luffy guy isn't that bad of a guy. He was actually rooting for me to win. He felt bad for me. And we're going to see a conflict with him. And it's starting to look like, okay, I'm glad in a way Oda brought back Bellamy, because we're seeing a different guy. We're seeing a changed man. We're not seeing the same piece of shit that we saw back on Jaya. He's actually not that bad of a guy. We're going to see a conflict with him. Like, I could see him in a way turning this down just because he's like, yo, this guy, he felt bad for me. He felt bad for me when I got my ass kicked. Why am I going to try to do this to him? So it's a toss-up. I could see him doing that. But at the same time, he really, 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 really wants to be, you know, Doflamingo's BFF. So I don't know what he's going to do. But I could more so leaning on he's a changed man, and he might turn this down, and then pretty much Doflamingo's gonna say after that, you know, fuck you, man. You're not listening. Get out of here. So that was an interesting one, and it definitely brings forth again character development with this guy. It makes it seem, you know, relevant. Like, yo, Oda brought him back, and it was a pretty good reason. He's actually not that bad of a guy now. Now the thing with Bartolomeo talking to Cavendish, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but you know, that guy that he's like a model or whatever the hell he's supposed to be, the prince guy. The thing where Bartolomeo said that he's more deep-rooted with Luffy than meets the eye or whatever. What is his exact connection? The only thing I can think of is somebody in his past that, you know, is related to him or relevant to him is somebody that Luffy fought in his past, whether it be Gecko Moria, maybe he's Gecko Moria's son. I'm not exactly sure where the connection would be, but definitely him saying he's deep-rooted with Luffy, and the shock we've seen when he found out that Lucy was Luffy, it shows that whatever the case may be, him being deep-rooted, I'd imagine it's a foe that Luffy defeated in the past that's related to him or relevant to him for that matter, and now he's pissed off and he's like, yo, I'm going to get him. Well, he never really showed that exact, like, yo, I want to extract revenge like a lot of the other people, but it could be that he just wants to join the Straw Hats for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure. It would be very weird to have him, because he seems like a nut job on the Straw Hat crew or something like that. And I'm not saying again, because everybody just loves to think whenever I mention a character that and you know, their correlation to the Straw Hats, that I'm like, oh, you know, this one for Straw Hat. And that's not the case. I'm just saying as far as, like, you know, his relevance to the Straw Hats and what he would be like in a Straw Hat. It would just seem weird, but we'll have to see exactly what his plan and what his beef with Luffy is when time comes, I think Luffy's definitely going to win this block. And, you know, he took out the L-Bob Giant like nothing when the Giant hit the bull. And it just shows that Luffy's character in general is just such a lovable character. Like, they don't even know that he's Straw Hat Luffy, and he's still running the show, still getting all the attention. You know, jumping on the bull and using the bull and riding around. It's like Luffy just has that character that is just like, he's such a fucking awesome dude. And it just shows even when he's not Luffy, when he's going under the disguise as Lucy. It's like, Luffy for the win. I'm not gonna lie, I love that. Like, even when he's concealing his identity, he still shines, and his personality still comes through, and people still want to cheer for him. And you can do nothing but admire and respect that, because, I mean, that's just freaking awesome. Now, the whole connection with Rebecca and that guy Ricky, what is his connection with her? It seems as though he was in her past when she was a little kid. Maybe she hasn't seen him since. I'm guessing that there's a possibility. Maybe it's a father-daughter relationship, and that's why she doesn't really recognize him, and he's like, no, don't treat me or whatever. Maybe he doesn't want her to realize who he is. Maybe this entire time his goal is to try to free her or something by winning this tournament, and then it'll ultimately, you know, free his daughter or something, or he could use the powers to try to free his daughter. That's where I'm leaning, because we get a little flashback. She doesn't really necessarily know who he is, but we get the flashback and we see her as a kid and some guy like kind of petting her on the head while she's crying or something like that. So I'd imagine it's a father-daughter relationship. Overall, a lot of content in this chapter, definitely an enjoyable one. While it didn't give me those thrills that a big fight would do, it still ultimately provided a nice variety of different things, moving things along in different aspects. Nothing was really wasted necessarily. The only complaint is I really would have loved to see Law and Doflamingo and what's going on with that. I'm really hoping that Oda doesn't pull one. While it will be badass, at the same time it will be upsetting that he skipped the fight. Like, what if we just see Fujitora dragging Law's unconscious body at the end? I don't know how I would react to something like that, because on one hand it's like, you skipped this incredible fight, but on the other half, like, what the fuck did y'all do to Law? So can't wait to see when we get back to that. But other than that, really good chapter. 4 out of 5. Really provided a lot of different things, and I really enjoyed it overall. Let me know what you think. First of all, what is the connection with Rebecca and that gladiator? Is it like a father-daughter thing? Also, Jola, what do you think is going to be the reverse effect to Jola's pretty much toy power, turning them into toys and whatnot? You just gotta love it. It's like the Straw Hats, Nami, and all of them. They're now always getting like some big problem where they're switching bodies. Now they're toys. It's just freaking awesome. And your overall thoughts. Will Bellamy go through with it and try to kill Straw Hat for Doflamingo, or is he gonna just be like, yo, I can't do this? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for this pretty freaking chill and awesome chapter of One Piece, because I really enjoyed it. I mean, it just provided so many different things. Even without having the big fight in there, it still did a great damn job. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.